Today on our live stream, we are going to talk about real estate investing.
Yes, and kind of how we got started with our business, our multiple businesses, and basically just kind of go over trying to help assist anyone that might be wanting to go that direction in life, which is obviously a big step and a leap of faith. It's definitely something that isn't easy. Something that
If you're on right now, give us a comment. Let us know you're here.
Yep. Anyone, anywhere. But basically, we're just kind of go over the the leap of faith and sense that having a business entails and starting a business. That's the big thing is the big start. Kind of which direction you're going to go with it. It's obviously smart to have yourself a safety net, and sometimes it doesn't seem very conceivable. And so, just going to kind of talk about that sort of thing and how we got started with things and how it all has turned out so far.
Yes. Well, you want to go ahead and start? You started in college, right? Or in the middle of your degree?
Yeah. So I am one of those people that dropped out of college, went to college and enjoyed myself, played sports and everything that college entails. And I was about to start my senior year of college. I studied math education. The reason I went that route coming out of high school is I played baseball, and I was going to college and playing baseball, and there wasn't really anything that really that really interested me. The best thing I could come up with was be a baseball coach, because that's the only passion I really had. And so that's what I was like, okay, I guess I'll do that. I guess I'll study education and so math. I chose math. So I was studying math education and went till my senior year, and right before my senior year, my life changed a little bit. I decided to start trying to invest in real estate, and I had nothing. No, I didn't have any assets or money at all. I was that time I was working a 9 to 5 job, which I continued working for a couple more years. But it kind of made me decide right then that, hey, you know what? I think I'm going to stop going to school, because I didn't want to be a teacher at all. I don't even know why I wasted 3 years doing it, studying that. But
social life.
Social, yeah. I mean, and then I continued to have the social life and stopped going to school. I was like, well, this is a lot funner. But yeah, and so that's sort of the direction we went with it. I started, how I started by picking up my first property that I ended up wholesaling to someone, and and a lot of the good, the stuff behind the real estate business and the wholesaling and stuff, it'll come in other videos. But just kind of long story short, I picked up a property and I sold it for quite a bit more. that was just kind of my start. I just did just kind of a quick flip on it, and I ended up financing it to someone, and then they paid me the mortgage payment for several, a few years there, and that's kind of what started it. It was $250 a month, if I remember right, maybe 300, yeah. And that was the beginning. And so I thought, well, this is amazing. I am sitting here and making this money monthly, and I just need to do this more. And so then I started, trying to duplicate it, and I did, and kind of, just worked our way up with it. But that's kind of the beginning, of how that started, basically. There's so much more. Hey, Snack King Cole, how are you doing? What's up? The hair. Isn't that awesome?
It is. The hair is up. It is poofed.
But yeah, that's sort of how I got started with the real estate, and this was years before me and Sarah got together, and
he started real estate maybe 2 weeks before I started my cleaning business. Yes, this is actually my real hair. The red is a wig. This is my real hair, guys.
Can she eat?
Yes, she can have the whole bag. But I started my own cleaning business. I was working at Love's and working as assistant manager at a chicken place at that point in time. And I hated working 2 jobs just to pay for things, and so I started my own cleaning business because there was a bunch of oil field guys coming through being like, hey, we need good cleaners, and unfortunately it's something that I'm good at, but I hate it. Absolutely hate it, but it's a business that you can start up with very little money, and I did it. Went to the Capitol, got my license, and started going out trying to hustle up some contracts. And I started cleaning for a couple oil field companies that take trailer houses and put them out on the oil field rigs, and that was like Stallion and Trend and Tanmar and Peak, and I think those are the 4 top companies that I did. There was a couple Oil Patch and a few of those that were a pain to keep insurance for, because what they want is $4 million worth of coverage, but starting out they won't give you a certain amount of coverage. You can only get $1 million in coverage, and so it was a pain to work my way up to that, but we eventually did, and it was something that I was still doing when we had Lenora, and when we got together, and it was something that I ended up stopping because I didn't like having to manage other people.
Yeah, and we're about to move, and all the work was kind of, 4 hours away from where we're at right now, and we moved here not knowing a soul, and so, she's gonna have to kind of start all over with finding people, and it's just not really, it's not really in the right market, really. I mean, she could do it, but it's not the same. It's just not the same as being in the oil field, and the money just isn't the same. Basically,
money's not the same where we're at all. It was to where we could get a pretty good profit. We could pay our employees great. We had people that could make up to $100 an hour just cleaning, depending on their efficiency and everything like that. It was an awesome thing to be able to offer, and to be able to offer to pay that much. And so I didn't feel like it was worth it to have somebody pay or to clean for $10 an hour. I really didn't. Like, I felt bad doing it, and I wanted to pay him, and I wanted to pay him good, and I wanted them to want to come back and want to do a great job. And so
And it's nice. It's really nice to be able to
pay your employees that good. It really is.
It is. It's fantastic. It feels good, and it makes the employees, really makes them want to work hard, and so it's definitely.
So when you get a last minute phone call, they're like, heck yes, I'll go get a babysitter and I'll go out there and I'll clean that. Yeah. Versus them making $10-15 an hour, and it's
I don't want to get out of the house, they're not going to say that, but they're going to have some good excuse. The excuse is going to be, I can't get a babysitter, and then that's fine. I'm sure they can't, but usually when they're making the kind of money, that we was able to pay them, it's, that doesn't happen as often.
Yeah.
And then it was something good, for Sarah too. If she wanted to go clean the things herself, she made even more than that, because she'd obviously make what she was already going to make, on top of what she was going to pay the housekeeper or the cleaning girl.
And so it was, but it was tough because you have to go out in person for everything. Like, you have to drop by and give the company man cookies and check on how they're doing, and you have to be really personable. You have to you have to market yourself, and you have to do it in person. They're not gonna send you a text message or an email and be like, you're doing a great job. Like, they'll find a replacement for you if you're not going out and checking on them. And you have to go out and check on them, and if something's not being done right, that's how you find out. Because if not, if it's done wrong a couple of times and they weren't asked, they'll just replace you. Because there's always somebody out there that is willing to do it for cheaper. And that's kind of the sucky thing, but also good help doesn't come cheap. And that's something that people need to remember when hiring an employee is you have to pay them right. If you're not going to pay them right and pay them what the job is worth and make a couple extra bucks less on your end, then you're just going to keep having crappy employees. Like, I would rather make $25 to $50 a trailer and have a ton of business than be making $50 to $100 a trailer and not having things done right and having unhappy customers and people not going out there and cleaning well, and just it's worth a little bit extra money to do it right. But that was my big thing, and also I didn't want to have to drive 4 hours for my closest rig or 4 hours for the closest house to clean. I also did residential make readies as well, and that I started getting into because of him, because I started cleaning at the motel for him, and we were also doing cleaning for his rent houses. And so I decided, okay, well, let me go to a couple of these companies and check it out. And it was decent money. It wasn't oil-filled money, but I ended up stopping working for most of those companies because they got too nickel and dimey. Pretty much they were like, you didn't replace the grates for the stove, so we're going to take it out of your check. And we're like, we're a cleaning service. We're not supposed to go out and buy and replace. That's not in our contract. And so they started taking money out of our checks for silly little things like that. And we're like, we're not doing it. It's not happening. Or we didn't pick up the outside when we were only contracted to clean the inside. And just different things like that. And so we decided to stop working with a lot of those companies because it wasn't fair. They were cutting the checks. The girls were already quoted a price to go out there and work, and so it was ended up costing me money out of my pocket to clean for them, and it shouldn't. And so that is something I definitely it can be a really good thing if you have everything in writing and you're working for a good company, but there are a lot of companies that will sit there and try and nickel and dime you with stuff like that, and so beware.
I'll install that. You might just hit cancel and do your face. But you know, and so
Hello,
those.
Ryan Racer 89.
How are you? So basically, you know, those are kind of what was our, you know, our foundation on our businesses. You know, we each kind of started at the same time. You know, obviously didn't know each other at the time. You know, we started the businesses in 2013, and we you know, we started
Both in April.
Yeah, and we started dating in January of 2016, and so it, you know, it was quite a bit later. So you know, and so you know, we have the different.
Hello, Maddie Bear. 1979. How are you today?
You know, we both obviously have our, you know, different routes on things, and you know, and how we got started, but you know, it's the same thing. You make more money than you pay out, then that's the key. You know, the real estate, you know, especially for the service business, with the cleaning, but you know, the real estate, you know, sometimes it can have an asterisk with it because it, you know, even with the rent houses, I mean, you know, we cash flow all of our properties, but in the event that it's breaking even, you know, you're still able to be paying your mortgage payment down, and so, you know, when
it's still an asset in the long run.
Yeah, and it's still, you know, it's still really, even though if you're breaking even on the monthly, then you're still kind of coming out ahead. You know, because the stuff's getting paid down, mortgage is getting paid down if you you know, have a mortgage on it. And if you own it free and clear, then, you know, might be something you rethink a little bit, but for the most part, the property is most likely going to be appreciating in value anyway. So it's definitely something that's, you know, will be worth more probably later anyway.
If you're breaking even on a service business, then you're doing something wrong and you need to change it up. Most definitely.
You know, and one of the problems with the businesses like that is the, you know, one of the, you know, is basically the workman's comp and the insurance. Like, you know, we obviously have to have insurance to, you know, for our rent houses. But when the workman's comp stuff and the insurance that's required to be able to go out on those rigs and stuff.
A base policy for a small company paying out, I think I put $22,000 a year, like with two part-times, like I think it was $2,500, and then it was like up front, and then it was like $1,400 a month. Like, it is just the workman's comp insurance is outrageous, and then all the other insurances I had to have, like every car that went out on a rig location had to have full coverage no matter what. And so if their car didn't have full coverage, they had to be taking my car or something that had full coverage, and just different things like that. Like, there's so many little things that'll nickel and dime you with every business.
And that's a fact.
Websites, nickel and dime you guys.
Yeah. We always do as good as we can to keep the costs down on the websites, because there's so many, you know, we have so many different plugins and stuff, different like the forms to if someone fills out a form that says that they have a house to buy, and or they need to contact us, on there.
Or form to book a room.
Yeah, or form to book a room at one of the motels. It's just those kind of things, like, unless you find a free version or whatever.
$10 to $20 a month
Yeah,
per plug-in.
And then they they have the free versions of them, but then they don't have everything, and then they're they
glitchy.
They make it to where you're almost forced to pay a yearly subscription or whatever for it, and so it's definitely can get irritating. And stuff. There's so many nickel and dime things, with all of the businesses that people just don't even think about, Sorry, trying to get it shared out on other platforms. That way we can get some more people going.
But we both had our own hustle going on when we got together. We both had our own things, and then he'd been in the motel business with his parents for a while and working in it in a 9-to-5 job. And then I came in and started cleaning and learning and going from there, and learning about marketing, guys. This has been a big one for me lately. Yeah. Is just marketing and trying to do continued learning with that. Like, you have to sit here and constantly learn. But everything you learn, you need to put in place. If you're not putting it into place, then what you learned is just absolutely useless. If you're not sitting here and like, oh, you need to post a certain amount of times on Instagram or post a certain amount of times on Facebook or YouTube, and do it at certain times of the day when people are most likely on there, then, like, if you're not doing what you need to do for whatever form of marketing or social media that you're on, then it's gonna fail.
Yeah, sad truth. And then, and they say, like, I don't know, a huge percentage of startup businesses, fail. And you just got to pick up and go again. You can't give up on things. It's the odds are it's not going to work out for you. And that's a horrible mentality to have. But
sorry, I was telling our daughter no to yogurt.
It's it's the sad truth sometimes, for sure.
I'm the mean parent right now. She wouldn't eat her dinner.
I was trying to be earlier, but you said that she did. When she was asking when she had the marshmallows.
There was like 2 left in there. Like, it wasn't like... Well, sometimes you have to give in. I wasn't about to open that yogurt. Was not about to open that yogurt, guys. She makes a big mess with them. Of course, that's a 3-year-old for you. Ooh, it is late. It is 11:25 at night. And what are you doing? Copying stuff over? Okay. But we've been growing in business together. We are doing a lot of learning together, and we're learning about different social medias and just trying to figure things out. Some things we just have to figure out as we go, and other things we already have it down. But you want to tell them how we got this motel?
Yes, I sure can. In just a moment.
Of all things, there's tons of ways to get into pretty much any type of business. And real estate, you can do it with no money or a lot of money, and you can do that with pretty much any business. You just have to figure a way to do it. And That's fine. You're hungry? Go eat the pizza that we made. You love pizza. Did you guys hear this? She doesn't like pizza because it has cheese.
Guys, she loves cheese.
And she loves pizza. Lenora, go. That's your dinner, honey. You love cheese?
No!
Oh,
Hey,
Lenora,
you don't be
hey.
ugly.
Please go back in there and you can either watch your show or eat your pizza. Oh, boy. We have a spoiled one. A really spoiled one, guys. I cannot stop yawning. But, are you gonna go?
I'm trying.
Okay. How do we flip that?
So, how did we get a motel? This story starts with me being 12, basically. My parents ran a sawmill in northeast Oklahoma, or my dad did. He was a fourth generation miller, and he decided that him and my mom, the entire time, they've always been really interested in owning a motel. And so basically what they did is my grandpa passed away, which my dad ran the motel with him. And after he passed away, my dad started going to the woods and running the sawmill by himself, and it was too much for him. He couldn't do it, and I was too young to help. I was still only 12, and so that's kind of what started it. Is they started trying to find a motel, and Dad found this motel in Hennessy, Oklahoma, that was very cheap and run down, and really
I was
just.
talking about this one.
Well, I know.
Oh, okay.
I've got to get there though.
Okay.
You just now realized I was talking about that
No,
one?
but I just thought it was going to go there quicker.
I said it's a long story that starts at the beginning.
Oh, okay.
And so my parents bought a motel, and when I was 12, and I've been around it since then, and if you take that out of the equation, there's no way that I'm gonna buy my own motel. Me and my wife are gonna buy our own, in the future, and so. When I actually, after I graduated high school, I went off to college and started getting into my real estate game, like I had mentioned a couple minutes ago. And my parents both got sick. My dad first, he became terminally ill and came down and had ALS, and they told him he had 6 months to live. And so he called me and he said, "Hey, son, I need you to come run the motel." He said, "I can't do it anymore. Every time someone calls, they hang up the phone because they think I'm drunk." Because his speech was starting to get slurred, and so I was like, "Absolutely, I have at that time I was still working a 9-to-5 job and trying to make the real estate happen, and I had a few rental properties, and so I thought, well, that'll help me a little bit, and then I was going to take some from the motel, my profits basically, and so that's what happened. And so I moved there and started running it, and about a year later, my dad was still living, and about a year later, my mom got diagnosed with inflammatory breast cancer. And so, and so they were both terminally ill. They gave her a couple weeks to live, actually, and they basically, so then I was running at 100% and trying to take care of them. Well, while I was running at 100%, I learned it. I had always worked at different hotels and stuff the whole time. I worked there with my parents. Not for money, but for food on the table. and then when I went to college, I worked at 3 different hotels, or while I was away from home until I moved home. And so I really learned the business, and then I really, took the crash course when I was running my parents. And so it showed me that, that there's can be money in a motel. I wasn't really sure. I was kind of skeptical. I didn't know, how well things went with the business of a motel and the logistics of it. And so I got it figured out, and I said, oh, hey, you know what? I'm going to start keeping my eye out, so I want my own motel. And so this motel we have, I actually found it on eBay. We are 3.5 hours from where from where the other motel is, where we used to live, and I found it on eBay and made a deal with the lady that owned it. She actually lives overseas, and so and that's kind of the direction that we went. Hey, Jelly Duck 100, how are you? That's kind of the direction we went with it. We decided that we wanted to give it a shot, and so we bought it, and here we are.
Yeah, here we are.
We actually, for those that don't know, that aren't really a part of the following, we have not opened it yet. We are remodeling it, and we are literally like...
Have everything ordered now, guys. We're just waiting for it to come in the mail.
we're very close to getting it opened up, and so...
Everything should be here by Thursday. Doesn't mean it'll be open by Thursday, but everything will be here by Thursday so we can finish up.
Jelly Duck 100, we are talking about the different businesses and that we have and how we started, and basically kind of give tips on anyone that's wanting to start their own business, and so we're just kind of going through what the logistics of what ours have been.
Oh, I started
how we got going.
Firearm accessory business.
Yeah.
Guys, we went to buy a mail organizer from this guy because we have so many businesses and so many bills. We needed this mail organizer for all of our bills, and it is not currently set up right now because it's still in the trailer from the move. However, we went to get this mail organizer, and we go up there, and it's at this gun store. And they're closing it down, and they had a big old box of stuff there, and we were like, well, how much for the box of stuff? And then he's like, well, I got this, and this too for sale here. And so we don't know why we did it at all, guys. We bought this box of stuff, this filing cabinet, this mail organizer, gun racks, these tall, 8-foot tall gun racks that hold like 244 guns or something like that. And we just bought it all. And
then bam, we had a gun business.
No, and then wait for it. Then the guy we were like, well, do you have anything else? Stupidly, we asked, do you have anything else? He goes, oh yeah, I have a whole storage unit full of it. So we scheduled to come back the next day or 2 days later, something like that. And we're expecting to go to the storage unit. The guy's like, meet me at the store. And we're like, okay. The guy unpacks the storage unit onto a trailer and onto his truck, and he's like, I'm selling this to you guys. Let's make a deal. Pretty much. Yeah. Like, he was like, I'm not putting it back in the storage unit.
And then, bam, we had a gun business. And so we started going to the gun shows, which was fun, and we made a lot of friends and contacts. It was pretty neat. We basically did them all last summer, and so it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool trying to build a base with it, and
it was easy. It was fun. Like, we enjoyed talking to everybody. Gun shows. Like at the expo centers and stuff like that, they'll have little gun shows where a bunch of vendors come out, and like one vendor may just have all ammo, and like all we had was accessories, and you like when you go to a gun show, the vendors will rent tables, and like we had 10 tables, 10 8-foot long tables full of stuff, plus 2 racks in the middle. And 2 to 3 racks. The first show we had 3 racks. The second show and third show we only had 2. But it was a lot of fun. And you rent these booths out, or the tables out, and you create your own little booth, and you sell whatever you have there. Some people, like I said, just do ammo. Some people do survival stuff. We were all gun accessories. Some people only have antique firearms. And so there's just all sorts of different things. Some only do reloading equipment and reloading stuff for between primers and powders and casings. And it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it really was.
A lot of fun. And we realized that accessories were not our thing at that point, because we know about guns, but we don't know about every gun. And
but by golly, we learned a lot.
Yes, we sure did. And there are gun accessories suck because they are just specifically for that gun for the most part. And if somebody doesn't have that gun, then there's not a need for that accessory. And so the accessories are tough, and that's when we decided we're just gonna sell it all, and then later on we are going to get our FFL and just go into the gun part of it. And so that is kind of put on hold for right now with the motel, and then I think after we get a couple rooms opened up, then we're gonna start doing that. Guns don't kill people, you are correct.
Guns don't kill people. People kill people.
People kill people. Stupidity kills people.
Have you ever been to a gun show, Jelly Duck 100?
But people kill people. Knives. You can do it with knives and anything else like that. They can do it with their bare hands if they wanted to. And so, no, he has not. It's fun to go to, just to look, to see what all's there. And like the first gun show we went to, by golly, there was 20 things we wanted to leave with, and we're like, guns are illegal in Kuwait. Oh, I don't think we'll be visiting Kuwait then. We travel with ours everywhere we go. And after that incident that we had, we decided we're not going to go somewhere that doesn't allow them again. And even when we fly, we declare our firearms, we have them in the lock boxes, the ammo's separate, and they go where we go. Pretty much, like, we are not going to be caught somewhere without them.
Yeah, very helpless feeling when you're used to having, it, and especially after what had happened to us when that guy tried to take Lenora, and so definitely something we want to avoid for the future.
Yes. But we have fun. They're fun to go out and shoot and stuff like that.
We don't do it enough. We don't do it very often at all, actually.
About once a year right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But And our daughter, she knows what gun safety is. She knows not to touch mommy and daddy. She has her own little BB gun that we got her, the little cliche little Red Ryder BB gun, and I refuse to let her get a pink one. We got a brown one. Like, she doesn't need a girly gun. She needs to know that this is not a toy. And I feel like Pink was just teaching her that that gun was a toy. And so she knows about gun safety and safety glasses and not to put the finger on the trigger unless you're ready to shoot and not to point it at people, and she does great. Does absolutely great. And she knows not to go in my purse because that's where I carry one. She stays away from it. Like, she is very aware, knows what they do, and we haven't had any problems. We started teaching her early on it, and education is key on stuff like that. Like, if you BB gun, it really hurts. Yes, they really do hurt.
Have you been shot with a BB gun before? I think we all have.
I haven't. I don't think so. Not quite sure. But she...
maybe I think actually I may have got shot with an airsoft gun, maybe almost.
I know I've been shot with an airsoft gun, yeah.
I don't know the difference, maybe it was an airsoft gun.
But she knows, and education is key on stuff like that, and we wanted her to have her own so she could understand the importance of it. And kids are curious, and if they are not allowed to handle something and see something and know how it functions, they're going to want to know. Their curiosity is going to get to them, and if you don't, how do I put it? If you don't let them be involved in it and know what it's actually like and know the importance of everything and teach them about it, you're going to fail. You're going to fail. That's all there is to it, because their curiosity is always going to get to them if they don't know what it's like. And she knows what it's like, and she knows when she sees it what we're going to go out and do, and she gets all excited. And she's almost 4 now, and she shot it a couple of times, and she's had a lot of fun with it. Mm-hmm. But that's all it takes, is take away the curiosity from it, and your kids will be a lot safer. If you just tell them guns are bad, don't touch them, that's not teaching them anything. You need to teach them about it. It's just like saying drugs are bad, don't do them. Teach them how they're bad, why they're bad, like what they'll do to your body, how they can destroy your life, how they're illegal. Teach them about it. You can't just sit here and tell anybody something's bad or you can hurt yourself by doing this. Don't do it. Like, it's not going to work for anybody, an adult or a child.
Yeah.
And so.
Education is key.
Yeah.
Well, Jelly Duck 100, have you ever considered starting a business, or what do you do? Just curious. You don't have to share if you don't want. I understand. But yeah, we got a lot of things on the burner as far as the way I'm working Ministry of Health. Oh, okay, cool. All right. What exactly does that mean you do?
I think it's a charity down there. I think so. Not quite sure.
But we got a few things on the burner business-wise, and and that entails an event center and a restaurant, and possibly and this is kind of possibilities, and possibly a bed and breakfast. Kind of up in the air, and then eventually we were hush hush about maybe possibly a particular type of franchise that I'm really excited about.
And a charity.
And
My
a charity.
golly, we're gonna have 25 things to do.
I'm talking about money making things though.
Money making things. Sorry.
Yeah, we tend to put a lot on our plate, and except for when it comes to dinner. I'm just kidding.
He doesn't like my cooking 90% of the time, guys. It's because it sucks to cook for like 3 different people who won't ever eat the same thing, and so being a mom sucks sometimes, guys. How do you saving your own money?
How do we do saving our own money? Honestly, most of our money is basically is rolled back into our businesses. I mean, it's something, especially the rent houses and stuff. We gotta keep them up. Motel, keep things updated and stuff. The businesses, they each they make money for themselves, but
if you're not putting the money back into it, for the most part, like we get our own salary from it, but if you're not putting the money back into it, then it's not.
Then you might as well plan to fail.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can't expect.
If you want to go 20 years without updating a motel, it's gonna start failing. You have to put updates into things. You have to do hot water heaters. You have to do new furniture, beds, linens. Like it's one of those things. Always plan to be putting something new in. Always plan to have that backup.
And that's what we want. We want to keep things updated and up with the times. It's just. Sometimes it's hard keeping things updated, everything's getting more expensive everywhere. Life is more expensive. With the rent houses, for the most part, I mean,
the past year's been really good.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't had that much turnover. We have done pretty much rent-to-owns on a lot of our properties. And that has been the best option for us, especially moving so far away. It's just kept tenants in there, and it's kept the properties well taken care of, because people aren't like, oh, I can trash this and leave in 3 months. They're like, oh, I have the possibility of owning this. I'm going to take care of this.
Yeah, they just tend to be a little bit more devoted. To the properties, and so, it's something we haven't raised our rent in ever. I mean, I have, maybe, I mean, really, on any other rental properties in 6 years, we're still renting the houses for the same as we did, at the beginning. At least when I say 6 years, at the beginning of the beginning of the first one. So, I don't know. It's because everything else goes up, Costs more if one's vacant to have it mowed. It costs more. Utilities go up. Towns have their prices on the electricity or whatever, and sometimes they go up, and it's just something that all of our costs go up. And that's the same thing with any business, with the motel as well. You can sit here and the electricity bill will go up, the cable bill will go up, the wireless internet, maybe you didn't even have wireless internet 10 years ago, and all of these things go up. But if you're renting the rooms for the same price, like, you're obviously making less money than you were before. And so, it's smart. You gotta kind of stay up with things. It seems like hotel rooms have
It's revenue
doubled.
management.
It seems like room prices have doubled every 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years.
For the last 30 or 40 years, I mean, you basically you're looking at a hotel right now, the prices could fluctuate so much, but let's just say like a Holiday Inn, you might be looking at around $150 a night. You know, that $150, you know, probably in 2009, 10 years ago, was probably somewhere around, you know, $75 to $90. You know, and then you take another 10 years off of it, you know, you're probably somewhere around 40 to $50. And so, you know, it seems like the prices just keep doubling every decade, and so, you know, it's just you gotta stay up with it. You gotta keep yourself in business. I mean, that's number one, first and foremost.
Are you guys studying at home school? Are you meaning for our daughter or for us?
We're always studying. We never stop.
If it's us, I don't know what he does specifically. I try and learn something new every day. Like, whether it's listening to a podcast or reading an article, like, try and learn something new about your business or something to help your business once a day. If it's my daughter, we're kind of letting her do an exploring nature thing right now, like where she learns about animals and plants and all sorts of things like that. And today we planted a bunch of plants with her, and so she is going to have her own little garden inside. And so that is something.
And it's labeled and everything.
It's labeled and everything. Yes, Mommy did the labeling. But if it's Derek, I don't know what he does for school for himself. I just know what I do.
I think I kind of focus more, you know, well, she does too. We both kind of focus. I really focus the most on social medias, trying to help grow our brand, and, you know, kind of, you know, just expand things. You know, that's kind of been that's kind of been my route with things, is trying to expand.
Maybe looking for somebody to help with pictures and video here in a couple of months. So keep your eye out.
Yeah, because we have so much content, and it is so time consuming, putting all this stuff into videos and stuff, and we're, you know, obviously we're not professionals. You know, we're going to keep getting better as we go, but I think, unfortunately, sometimes our lack of punctuality with stuff, perfectness, is, you know, is probably costing us on some really good, you know, material. But, you know, we'll get it figured out. But if you are someone that is familiar with that realm of things, make sure you drop a comment, and we can try to figure out what we can do.
Get together and try and work on something.
Yep.
But then there's, I'm trying to think of, we have the rent houses, both motels, the firearms, the cleaning, my hair, guys.
The hair business.
My hair is a business. It really is. I sell shampoo. And
it's amazing.
Yeah.
I can vouch, as well.
And that's not just a husband trying to support me.
No, I don't really care.
No,
I'll always support her with things, but I mean, yeah, I'm not. If I didn't think that it was good, then I would probably be like, hey, you should probably stop selling that stuff, because that stuff sucks.
Fast boy Craig.
And why?
How are you doing?
Why would we want to sell something that sucks? You know, that's the.
Don't want to put our name on something that sucks at all. Maybe if we get enough people in here tonight, we'll let somebody pick my new hair color.
Maybe.
Yeah. And That's another reason why I color my hair all the time.
We'll do that if we can get how many?
10.
Okay, if we can get 10 people in here tonight
in the live stream.
In the live stream, then we will let someone
or all of them
all
majority vote
of
or
you,
something.
Choose a hair color for Sarah. It'll be a blast. What are you up to, Fast Boy Craig? How is your night or day going, wherever you may be in the world?
But I sell anti-aging hair care, and there's tons of products, and it's awesome. It's the only thing that can keep my hair alive from all the coloring that I do. Only thing that we've had keep my hair alive. And not much bud. But
Us either. What we are discussing is businesses, some of the different businesses we have and how we got started with them, and just try to help nudge people to make that leap of faith that's thinking about turning that page in their life and giving a business a shot. Oh, cool.
Oh, I always want to go there. I've always wanted to go
I knew
there.
that she was going to say that.
And then we have, I can officially marry people. I'm a minister.
Yeah, that's another thing we don't really get rich off of.
No, it's something it's fun.
But if anyone wants to sneak over and elope, we can make it happen. We have wedding packages. We offer wedding packages at our motel.
And then I'm a notary as well, which also helps the real estate side of it. That was something that, whether you're going and buying a trailer or a car or anything, like it helps out so much.
Yeah, it really helps to have a notary in your back pocket.
And so, and I notarize for the business only, not personal uses. I know the rules, I know the laws. And his name's on the business, not mine. And so I am just an employee of the business. But just in case anybody wants to get technical there, we know, and we did it before we even got married, and you can work at bank and be a notary for the bank.
Yeah.
It's the best way that I can put it. But I'm also a notary, and then we do a little flea market in town and Poshmark, and I think that's it.
Too many things.
Look, I'm writing them all down right now, guys.
To be quite frank.
And then we have the nonprofit. And then we have the franchise. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 things. 10 of them are like, we're actually doing, well, okay. 8 of them we're actually doing, 4 of them we're working toward. And that's the nonprofit and the franchise. And then our...
Guys, I had one business when I met her. One.
I'm sorry. You had to rent houses.
And technically I had the motel kind of when we got married. So, funny story. When we bought this motel,
She knew we were getting married, and I did not.
I was hoping I knew we were going to get married. We closed on this motel on, thank you, Fast Boy Craig. We closed on this motel on July the 19th of 2017, and I knew we were going to Disney World 2 weeks before, week and a half before.
Hello, the focus effect.
We lost them.
I will fix it.
Maybe to Facebook.
Here in a little bit. Keep talking.
basically, I knew that I was going to be proposing to her at Disney World. And so...
Lenora, get out of stuff.
And then, and then immediately come back and buy the motel, which is also a house. And so I kind of knew that was the direction that the things were going to go. And, she's completely 100%
in the dark.
In the dark. Yeah, I mean, has no idea. Like, she had talked to a friend, earlier that week in regards to maybe me possibly popping the question, and she's like, oh no. She's like, maybe in 4 or 5 years, and so she totally was not expecting it. And so I had this nice little evil plan. I was like, I'm going to propose to her, and then we're going to get married the next day. And it all worked out. And so we got married the next day, and then 10 days later we bought the motel, which we had already, the closing set, and that was kind of set in stone for
squeeze him up that self back
about
in
a month,
here, guys.
I guess. But I need to scoot over.
But so there was 3, but we'd already started doing the firearms, didn't we? No, we didn't. We didn't start doing the firearms until after that. We had so together, when we first got married, we had 4 businesses. But I was already a notary, so 5. We had 5 when we got married.
Notary's not really a business, though.
I know. Well, I can't make much
Just
money
a business
out of it.
asset.
Business asset. Something to put on a resume. But, yeah. That's what all we do, and we're excited. We're starting to get the nonprofit stuff going, and filling out all the paperwork and trying to get stuff like that figured out with that. And our nonprofit is going to be for kids in the foster care system, and specifically ones in group homes. And we're going to try and start out with a Christmas event, and then end up with a scholarship, and then hopefully more Thanksgiving event, and then adoption events. We're going to start with 1 day out of the year. 1 day out of the year. Or a couple days out of the year, depending on where we go and need to do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll be a lot of fun. This stuff. It'll be a lot of fun. So, does anybody have any questions or anything? But we sure stay busy with everything.
Yep.
We really do. We
never ends.
Yep. But that's how it should be. Keeps us out of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Keeps us out of trouble. And I'm looking forward to the franchise too. But I'm letting him do the learning on that, and I'm doing the learning on the nonprofit. Because if we both had to learn about both of the things right now, we would definitely be spreading ourselves way too thin.
And that's what makes the mesh work. I mean, really, it's a, and it's just, let's just look at the YouTube channel. I'm kind of more like the one that does the editing and the thumbnails and stuff, and she pretty much does everything else. And we just have our different we have our different things that we each do
that we're good at, or that we learn, and
mm-hmm.
Pretty much the only thing we fight over is who needs to take the dogs out.
I don't really feel like it's a fight.
No, it's just like a I don't want to do it this time, and you don't want to do it this time, but one of us needs to do
Neither
it.
of us ever want to do it.
No. And so
That's okay.
It's never a fight. It's just...
We'll get it figured out.
Oh my goodness. Yes, we will, sooner or later. But the cleaning and the firearm stuff is definitely on hold until... The firearm stuff is on hold until we get a couple of the motel rooms opened up, and then we might look into the licensing and stuff like that again, and purchasing the licensing and getting back into that for some fun and just an extra side revenue, side hustle. And then the cleaning, I have to do that every day here anyhow. And it may be something I decide to get into later on if we move somewhere, but I don't think right here in this economy, this type of place right now, is the best for us to have a cleaning business, because it's just not. If we were back down where we lived, it would still be a great place to have a cleaning business, and it could be something that was really made us a lot of money. But up here, with just the economy up here where we're at, it's not a smart move and not a good thing for us to be spending our time on. And so, and unlike the YouTube channel and the motel and stuff like that, like, the cleaning, you really have to be present. You have to put a lot of hours into. The YouTube channel, you still have to put a lot of hours into, but you could put 10 hours into scheduling all your content and have it scheduled out for the month and be done.
If you have all the content done.
Yeah, just put 10 hours into doing your content and then schedule it out and have it done for the month.
Oh, I thought you were saying 10 hours into scheduling the content.
No, just...
Well, it's going to take much
just
longer than 10 hours to get all the content ready.
Yeah. But then, like, the motel, like, you can market it with Google AdWords. You can have all that content scheduled ahead of time and be posting things. Like,
What's everyone's opinion on Google AdWords? Just curious. Anyone who is watching live or the replay, I would be curious to know your strategies on it. We have really grown to love it. Seems like something that works big time. Absolutely. I mean, it works amazing. Google is a very popular site. That's all I have to say.
Yes. Yeah, Google is amazing. I think Google is amazing. So, we're going to get up and I'll be right back. I'm going to go check on Lenora. I couldn't find what she got out of the fridge just a minute ago. So curious.
Sometimes Lenora is acting up a little bit, and we have to be parents. We have to be parents a lot, actually. But anyway, back to the business. We are definitely blessed that things fell the way that they have. Things don't always go perfect, and by no means have they been perfect. But it just kind of seems like it's fell all right. We have to be thankful, no matter how bad things are. We got to be thankful for what we have and how the chips have fell, in our lives. It's sometimes you look back and you say, man, what is going on? Like, how can things be so bad? And so you just kind of got to keep your head up and keep moving forward, because it's not going to seem like it goes perfect any. You're gonna be a day away from receiving rent from a tenant or something, and the hot water tank's gonna go out, and then you're gonna think, oh my gosh, what do I do now? Because maybe you don't have that safety net that you needed, that you should have had when you started. I can tell you right now, I didn't start with any safety net, and things started rough because I didn't have any money. I started with zero money, and just kind of tried to get things going from there. But you just got to just gotta listen, just gotta trust and go with your heart. Go with your heart for sure, and keep your head up. You can't let one bad thing that happens ruin your entire life or business. I mean, it hasn't really personally happened to us, but I can tell you, name lots and lots of entrepreneurs that filed bankruptcy, had to start all over, and some of us might look at that as cheating, kind of cheating, but you know what? I guess it's there for a reason. I don't know. It's a loophole in life that's there. Sometimes you just gotta start all over. You're gonna get smarter. You're gonna get better at doing something, and you just gotta keep your head going forward, and things will work out. Things will absolutely work out. I feel like that. We've all been to that point, and maybe it's not with business, but with something else in life. It's just we've all been to that point that we're like, wow, do not feel like I could be any lower right this moment, and maybe that's true, maybe that is as bad as it gets. Unfortunately, it can. Really can't always seem to get worse, but just gotta keep our head up and moving. Life, businesses.
Yes, and yes.
Things suck sometimes, and a lot.
Getting people to pay rent, guys, is tough. Like, it shouldn't be this tough half the time, but it's tough. Like, they think that we don't have a mortgage on the house, so it's just fine if they don't pay for a month, and they'll catch up with us next month. No. Or we'll be 20 days late, and we'll be ignoring your phone calls. And we're really nice. We're honestly too nice. Like, way too nice.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're late, or if you're going to be late, give us a call. Like, that's all we want is some common courtesy. Like, just give us a call. Let us know, hey, this is when I'm supposed to get my next paycheck, and I'll have it for you then. Or, hey, this is coming in late, or hey, this happened. Like, we're really nice, unfortunately. And we're like, just communicate with us. But when it's the 15th and we are 10th to 15th and we're like, just answer your phone. Like, we don't want to have to sit here and go through the trouble and getting this notarized and getting this sent off registered mail for you to have to sign for it, for a 5-day notice for you to pay, like, because we don't want to have to sit there and then start an eviction process and then you pay the money. We want to know, hey, this is the date I'm going to have your money. Sorry about it. Or, hey, I'm moving out. Hey, hot water tank went out. Talk to us. Hey, the faucet's leaking. Like, we'd rather know that faucet is leaking than find out 6 months later down the road.
Well, we have to replace the vanity or something, or the
Yes.
floor or something like that. But it's, you just never know. And sometimes you don't know that the faucet's leaking.
Yeah.
If a lot of people have a bunch of stuff up underneath their sink, and you don't even realize it's dripping back there.
Yeah.
And that's understandable for sure.
But talk to us. Let us know that the porch needs fixed, or that the shingle come off your roof, because then we want to get the roof looked at before it gets a leak. We don't want to sit here and have problems with our properties. Like, it's not what we want at all. And we want to know, hey, when we're getting paid, because then you don't feel like we're harassing you. If you sit here and comment and let us know, like, or send us a text message, give us a phone call, anything, and are like, hey, my rent's gonna be late, I don't know how late, I will keep you updated. We are probably gonna be like, okay, thanks, we'll get back with you in a couple of days.
And the hard thing is sometimes, we understand if you don't know how late, because we know how our lives are. We're entrepreneurs. We don't, sometimes it's not clockwork. And we understand that. If someone else has a handyman business, maybe they don't know when they're going to get paid. Maybe they're waiting on someone just like we're waiting on them. And so it just all boils down to communication. That is what we need.
Most definitely. And it sucks when people don't communicate, and it's so frustrating. And after the second and third time, I'm the one that gets mean. I am really like, okay, suck it up, Buttercup. I don't care. Like, you should have talked to me. You should have told me. Like, if something happens to your kid, like, it may not be any of our business, but you're like, I'm in the hospital with them for a week, message us and say, hey, I can't get you your rent right now. I'm with my kid in the hospital for a week. Like, we would, hello Meow TV, we're a lot more understanding when you tell us something like that beforehand than 15 days late and 10 missed phone calls later when we're frustrated and upset with you.
Yep.
Like, just a simple text message saying that and saying my rent's going to be late could save a lot of problems.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yeah, like I said, it may not be any of our business, but it's our business if our rent's late. I'm watching on my TV set. I am not watching. Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, cool. We have a Roku as well, and we also watch YouTube on the Roku.
But it's
definitely a neat way to go.
I don't know. I hated talking to my landlord, and I know people hate talking to their landlords because they're scared of what they're gonna say or scared they're gonna be upset. They're gonna be 10 times more mad at you for not communicating with them, guys. Like, talk to them. Let them know. Like, I'd rather them be mad because it's going to be 7 days late and they know it than me being 7 days late, never communicating with them, and getting a 5-day notice and threatened eviction and all this other stuff. Like, it's so much easier just to send that text message or call them and talk to them for 60 seconds on the phone. Like, it takes a minute out of your day.
Just so you know, Meow TV, she made this awesome statement earlier that if we happen to have 10 people in the stream at once, that somebody or everyone will get to choose her hair color. Yeah. So that kind of seems like a blast.
So as soon as we get 10 people in here, we will do it. We have 3 right now. I think our largest has been 7, right? Or 8. Somewhere in there.
We've had 10 before.
You've had 10
yeah.
before? Okay. Well,
yeah.
Good number. It's realistic.
Yeah, I think someone, probably like R5 Adventures, I think they like rated us, and then we ended up with 10 one time. So that was kind of cool. Or maybe they just shared it. I don't remember. But either way, we have been there before. But we do appreciate our our regulars that are almost always here. But we definitely we definitely appreciate the support. We're really trying to expand our our platforms. We are actually YouTube, Instagram, and Periscope live right now. It's just because of what we've talked about before. You never know when that YouTube channel isn't going to be here anymore, or whatever it might be. We have to, as creators, if we have a business out of it, then we have to
make sure all our eggs are in one basket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And exactly. It's because YouTube might not be here tomorrow. And can you imagine? I just can't even imagine. Obviously we're still young. I think we have like 400 subscribers, and so we're just still babies, trying to grow this thing. But I just can't imagine. I mean, just
all the work.
Yeah, to have to start all over. To have to start all over, or just not even like, I'm sure some people are like, I don't even know what I would do if there wasn't. Maybe jump over on Patreon or whatever. I don't know. But and so that's why it's important to us to, try to capture people to our website and get their email, because at the very least, that email is ours. It is 100% ours if someone wants to give it to us. And so we would always be able to reach out. If there's no Facebook, if there's no whatever, it's one day it could all disappear. You never know. And I know that so many people live off of it, or definitely are trying to get to that point. But I can't imagine. I absolutely can't imagine if that would happen. And so we are just trying to be prepared.
We're hoping this to be another business.
Yep.
It's a hobby right now because
it's it's not an expensive hobby. It's just a time-consuming hobby.
It's a very time-consuming hobby.
It's a free hobby. Just time.
Websites aren't too free.
Yeah, but we haven't paid anything on that.
You have to pay for the hosting and this and that and the name, the email.
Oh, I thought you were talking about YouTube.
No.
I thought you were talking about YouTube.
I mean, the Atypical Hustlers, it's a hobby right now, and hopefully it'll be a paid hobby, or a hobby turned to business is what we are hoping for.
Yeah.
But it takes time, it takes followers, and it takes a lot of dedication to social media.
Yeah, and the problem with us is like we kind of have our niche, but we have so many different things, and that can hurt you. You feel like, okay, I can reach out to the people, the lodging, the hoteliers. I can reach out to the real estate investors. We can reach out to the DIYers and the people that like to travel and go to Disney World. Like, but the thing is what you're doing is you're taking away from it.
Yeah.
If you had one thing and could focus on it, then you would have that community around you that is that. And with with what we have going on, we're trying to kind of separate the things. Doing the real estate and the lodging stuff on Mondays, and the travel tips, tricks, and experiences on Wednesdays, and then the DIYs on Fridays. And that's helping a little bit, but I mean, it's certainly not
It's
perfect.
definitely a lifestyle. Just a lifestyle vlog, pretty much is what it is. Like, this is our lifestyle. And those are the three main things. Like, we do DIYs all the time, whether it's just sitting here doing a little greenhouse for homeschooling, or totally remodeling a motel room, or making a cute hat for church for crazy hat day. Like there's so many different things, from learning to construction to just fun little stuff like that we do DIY wise. Like it is literally in our everyday life. And same with the rent houses. Like we stain our floors, we sand our floors, we do all the painting, we make everything. We really do. And so it's interesting. Interesting how much DIY stuff we actually do with the rent houses and stuff. But but it's a lot of work. It really is. And then we're doing all these videos, and then I have to be on a special diet now, so I'm relearning how to cook everything. And it sucks for him, because now he is not gluten-free, but he has to
being a guinea pig on the new cooking.
No,
things.
He's not being a guinea pig. I have to eat it too, guys. I have to eat it too, and so does our child. And today's wasn't horrible.
Nope. She made pizza today.
Gluten-free pizza, the mozzarella cheese crust, and for the first time ever, I've heard my husband say that something was too cheesy.
Yeah. And not quite cooked enough.
Yes, it was. You just had lots of cheese on your side because that's how you normally eat your pizza. But you had the cheese in the crust, so you didn't need all that extra cheese like you normally do. You liked my side. That wasn't so cheesy.
Yeah. Still was. I didn't feel like it was cooked all the way through or something. I don't know. Maybe
it was
so.
too fluffy. You're used to thin crust.
See, I thought it was really thin.
Mm-hmm. It was not that thick.
Mm.
Like, the thickness of the pizza was the bread.
I thought it was the cheese.
The cheese. It's the same thing. The breading.
That's nice.
But he is not so much my guinea pig. My whole family is the guinea pig.
Certainly seems like a guinea pig to me. But
guys, he eats meat and potatoes and cheese, and that's it. Like, that is
it's
all
that simple.
he
It's that simple,
eats.
ladies and gentlemen. That's all you have to do for me. Steak and mashed potatoes.
And bread. Bread.
Rolls would be good with that. Like the ones at Texas
Anything
Roadhouse.
that is going to make him fat.
That's what's good.
No veggies, like...
No,
you can...
mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes do not count. They are a starch.
I thought it was a vegetable. I thought a potato was a vegetable. I'm sorry.
They are vegetables,
oh,
but
okay,
they are a
so
starch. They are a starch. Like, they are not a good vegetable. They do not provide nutrition to your body.
If it's a starch, it loses the vegetable part?
Yes.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that. I thought I was eating vegetables my whole life.
You've eaten potatoes his whole life, and that is it.
Which is a vegetable. Comes out of the vegetable garden. Anyways, moving on.
He does not eat healthy. Correct?
Steak is healthy.
You do not eat healthy.
Pretty much the only thing out of all that
You're supposed to have 7 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. When have you ever gotten that? When have you ever gotten that?
I don't know.
Never.
Have you made it?
Yes.
Okay, then I've gotten it. You're the dummy.
Guys, I use ground up freeze-dried food and hide it in his sloppy joes. And when he eats sloppy joes, that's about the only time he gets like 5 vegetables in a day.
And I don't like it.
Okay. Too bad. Too bad. You're going to die without proper nutrition. You need good food.
We'll all die eventually.
Yes, but you're driving me nuts. Only eating meat and potatoes.
Well, Well, anyways, business.
Yes. That is my business. It's cooking for you. It is a full-time job now because of my gluten allergy.
Because that's what she chooses. All I need is a turkey pot pie or a frozen pizza or Velveeta cheese. Grilled cheese. Need cheese, bread. It's pretty simple. Every meal I make myself takes me 5 minutes to make. Why are you shaking your head? That's true.
It is, but I'm shaking
So
my head
she's
because
acting
all
like it's a
you're
full-time job to feed me.
Because I'm not making you something different
Because you're
compared to what
including
we're
yourself.
cooking.
You should say it's a full-time job feeding yourself. Because that's why it's happening.
It's a full-time job feeding you. Like, I'm about to walk out of the shack because you're making me mad. He sucks at feeding him because he won't eat anything besides those things. Frozen crap that tastes like crap.
I just eat what's good. You know, I don't like stuff that sucks.
Crap.
You know, does anyone else not like things that suck? I think that's fairly common. But anyways, I think we should go back to business. So I tried to earlier.
I think it's time to end the live stream.
You want to end the live stream? Well, we have 1 hour and a half, and that's how far we were going to go. So I guess we will do that. We really appreciate everyone coming in, and thankful for all of you. And we appreciate everyone that supported us on Instagram and Periscope. And obviously YouTube is a huge one. Make sure you subscribe to our channel on YouTube if you aren't already. And hit the bell so you'll get notification next time we go live. Wednesday we will go live again. We will probably, since it's a travel tips, tricks, and experiences day, we will probably, I think we might talk about, might kind of talk about when we went to Disney World and got married. It kind of sounds like fun, and the proposal.
Yep.
And
for our travels.
But other than that, we will see everyone on Wednesday. And the plan is to go live at 9 p.m. And so it'll be a little earlier than we've been doing. And we will see everyone then.
Alright, bye guys.
Bye.